Hey everybody, John with Natural Waterscapes here. Today we're going to do an unboxing of the Kasco VFX series 4400. It's the 4400 VFX is a 1 horsepower floating fountain by Kasco Marine, built right here in the US. So we'll go ahead and get started unboxing this. This is just how it comes via either UPS or FedEx. This is a small enough unit that it comes in boxes that are delivered by ground rather than by freight. When you get into some of the larger fountains, they will come by freight. You can see it's very securely packaged here, so I like to use a pair of needle nose pliers just to pop the staples out and not tear my hands up in the process. So we can get this opened up. Again, very well packaged. They take a lot of care when they package these units up together. Everything's foam. Actually comes with a circuit tester so you can make sure that your GFI is working properly. It's a nice touch. Got your safety information, your serial number if you ever need any service. That can either come back through Natural Waterscapes or directly through Kasco. Their service department is very responsive and fantastic. Then you got your operations and maintenance manual as well. As we dig a little bit further down into the box, we'll see the quick connect cord. This is how the power gets to the fountain pump. Another layer of foam protection. Pull that out. And we actually can start to get down to the nitty-gritty here. I'll lay this down on its side a little bit so it's easier to grab. And then we pull the motor unit out. The motor unit on these is really substantial. This casing is a waterproof casing, tested for both waterproof fit in the factory and also electrical leakage. They run a very high voltage current through this and test its connectivity to ground to make sure that this is absolutely safe when it goes into the water. Your V pattern comes out through here. You can see you've got the spinning top of the impeller, and on the bottom side you can actually see where the impeller is that pulls up the water. As that rotates, those vanes grab the water and force it up through. So, substantial 1 horsepower motor unit for the floating fountain. For most bodies of water, the 1 horsepower is kind of a minimum that we would use. Occasionally a 3/4 horsepower, that's pretty comparable. Both of those units can be plugged into 120 volts of electricity, just your standard outlet with the control panel that we'll see here in a minute, and that all connects up very straightforward. We're going to open up the power cord here. This particular unit is a 100-foot power cord. Power cords start at 50 feet. And on this unit go up to 200 feet in length. As you get into some of the higher horsepower units, you can also get longer cord lengths. Pull that out and take a look at the various attachments here. So this is your quick connect attachment and also a tether that will hook to the float, and I'll show that here in just a few minutes. Quick connect attachment is a waterproof attachment. There are plastic notches and keys that guide you so that you have to connect this the correct way. You can't connect it incorrectly. You just thread that down nice and snug, good hand tight, and then you've got a waterproof seal that makes it very easy to connect the fountain. As I mentioned, right on the other end, a straight 120 volt plug that goes into your standard outlet. This is just a storage plug, so if you are pulling this out in the winter months, which in very severe cold climates we recommend, you you would just utilize that to come in here and plug your cord so you don't get any dirt, water, mud in there that causes future problems. We'll go ahead and connect that back up for the time being, and then we're going to pull our float out, which is the largest, most unwieldy part of the fountain unit. And again, we've got staples in here to hold the box securely during shipping, so always best to pull them out with a pair of pliers. So here we have screen components that will attach to the bottom of the float to keep debris out. You can see they're slotted so fine debris will get through, but any larger debris is going to get caught to protect the fountain from that. Got the control panel there for the timer function, so that 120 volt plug can plug into that control panel as well. We'll take a look at that. And as you can see, float comes with the tethers already attached to it, so that's a nice handy feature. Float oriented so that the top side is up. Take a quick look at the control panel here before we move to mounting the motor to the float. The control unit comes with a manual as well, showing the wiring diagram for the electrician if you have an electrician involved. Again, this is just 120 volts, so very straightforward installation, but if you do need a wiring diagram, comes with all the details needed to make any adjustments to the power supply that you might need. So when we open the control panel, we're going to find that there's a standard plug attached here, and we can just pull this warranty document out, and then we can slide the plug right down into this hole. And this hole also has a little cap to allow for both the cord from the fountain to come up through and the master power supply cord to be pulled through and protect from rodents and other critters making their way in there, making a nest or anything like that that would cause issues. So you can mount that in there. You can see that you've got the ability to set on and off times, and there's also a GFI in here for protection from shock.
Hardware box that comes with the float, pop that open. And what you're going to have here is just your connections to get that float attached to the motor. So what we're going to do is the float actually goes on top of the motor like that. Then, as we lose bolts, we will line this up with hole, grab a couple of washers, leave those well. I can get that threaded in there. Grab more on the opposite side to get everything lined up. a little careful when you're lining these up with the holes. They don't always come straight in, especially when you're trying to look at it from a weird angle. Got it? So as far as some assembly required items, this is a very, very straightforward assembly. Once we have this on, we'll take a look at attaching the protective grate at the bottom. But beyond that, we have the fountain together. Slide this one last bolt in here, and we will have this thing assembled in less than 10 minutes and ready to go in the water. Now we will come back with a large Phillips head screwdriver and just tighten these bolts down to make sure that they don't loosen up over time with any vibration. But again, very, very straightforward assembly. You can see that your V spray pattern is going to come out of here, and we'll get this thing installed in the pond today and get it up and running, get some video of it in action, and see what kind of movement we get in the pond, how it cleans the water surface up and keeps debris pushed to the sides. Really handy thing to have on a pond, anywhere from a quarter acre up to an acre. It really makes a big difference for the enjoyment of the pond. The sound, the flowing water is really nice, and the visuals are great too. So the bottom screen is going to go together pretty quickly. I'm not going to attach it on this unit until we get it to the field, but these panels just go around. Base of the pump here, where you have, this is your intake area in the pump where the water is being drawn in. So this will get bolted to the top of the float and then zip tied around the bottom to connect that. So it's a very quick installation as well. So one of the other features that a lot of folks like to put in along with their fountains is some lighting. So right here we have the straight LED lighting kit. This is not the color changing LED. It does come with colored lenses, so you can vary color, but the LED bulbs themselves are just white bulbs. Again, comes with a very thorough instruction manual for installation. And this particular set is a 3-light set, and you can see the lights are very well packaged to protect them during transportation as well. Open. So there's your light head, very sturdy LED. You will have a pile of packaging left over when you're done because everything is so well packaged and put together, so that we have hundreds of these units going out, and very, very rarely has any issues with damage. Always an important factor when you're moving things around the country. So these are the light mounts. We're going to actually bring out 2 different styles. It's actually going to be a clamp-on mount that does a great job of gripping very solidly. The Kasco float, you can use these lights on other fountains, but for the Kasco style fountains, this clip-on mount is the fastest, most efficient way to get your lights on the fountain. We'll just go ahead and mount up this particular light so you can see it in action. And you'll notice that you don't have to unthread these completely. There's actually a saddle on the side of the light that the bolt head slides between that saddle and the mount. So very, very quick connection here. And then I can tighten that down and go angle that up so it catches that V pattern very nicely. Catches some nice illumination on the fountain, especially nice in the evening and early morning hours. But there's that clip mount. That is secure, and just that quickly we have the lights mounted to the fountain. So they are daisy chained, so the other two lights will get connected right around the other sides of the fountain evenly. And this 3-light kit for this size provides a nice amount of light. If you start to get into the 2 horsepower and greater, you'll want to look at either more lights. So there's a 6-light kit, or you could go with a larger LED light or the LED color changing lights as well. Mentioned the color changing lenses. So it's coming with a full pack of the color changing lenses, and you can see there's protective coating on those when they're packaged so that we don't have any damage to them in transit. And I may be able to get that off. So this is one of these orange lenses, so that will mount directly here and give you the ability to change your light. And that gets a boot over the top of it to hold it in place. So we'll go ahead and take the rest of that fell off and mount that down. That fell off. And looks like a great Halloween color right there. And so that lens is going to go right into this boot, rubber boot, nice and flexible. A little notch up in there that the lens slides under to hold it exactly in place. That worked around there. You probably see the rubber notches on the inside there that hold the lens in place. And then this rubber boot just pressure fits right down under that light lens and gives you the ability to change the color. Standard with these units, you get your selection of colors from red to blue to green, and then the orange that we just pulled out. So you can mix and match those. You can put all one color in, or you can let them wait. And that, in a nutshell, is the startup assembly of the Kasco 4400 VFX 1 horsepower floating pond fountain. Great warranty on this great company, backs up their products, very reliable products. We've had very, very few issues with them, and when we have had issues with them, Kasco's been very quick to respond and make it right. Look for some footage of this after installation, and look forward to getting you set up with one of these beautiful floating fountains for your pond.